Welcome to Azure Data Factory session. In earlier video, we saw how to create a simple pipeline using Blob storage as a source and Azure SQL Server as a sink. In this session, we are going to learn what are all the different approaches are there while referring the source file path. Okay, for that we have file path in dataset. This option already we used when we create a sample pipeline. Okay, let me go to the portal now. Here, this is the sample pipeline we created earlier. First, right, what we did, right, we selected some file there. Okay, this is a data set. Here we referred some file name. Whenever we run this pipeline, right, always it will read this file and ingest the data into Azure SQL database. Okay, now we are going to learn the other options: prefix option, wildcard option, and list of file option. Now, for that, to remove the hard-coded file in the data set and come to the pipeline, choose your activity and go to prefix. Now let's see the prefix first. Okay, when we hard-code the file, we have to use the file path in dataset. Now we are going to learn prefix. Prefix, right, when you click on prefix, right, what is the file name prefixed with, that you can refer there. This is the container we are referred in the data set. Here, right, we have a sample superstore 1, sample superstore 10, superstore.csv. These are all the different files are there. What is the file we are going to refer? We are going to refer only the sample. What it will do, it will read whatever the file starting with the sample. There are 3 files, right? It will read all 3 files and ingest the data into Azure SQL database. Okay, let us execute this one first. Started executing. By the time, right, what we will do, we will clear the table. Nothing is there in the target. Let's go and check how many records are there in the file. In sample superstore, we have 4 records. In sample superstore 1, we have 6 records. Sample superstore 10, we have only 1 record. So this execution has to load 11 record because it has to read the file name starting with sample. Let's see. Yes, it was ingested 11 record into Azure SQL DB. Let's go and check the table. There are 11 records. Okay, so this is how you can use the prefix formatted file in the source. Now let's move on to wildcard file path. Wildcard file path is used to use some pattern while referring the file name. Azure supports 2 wildcard characters. One is star, another one is question mark. Star, if you apply the star, means either it will matches 0 character or more characters. Let me explain how to use this one. And if you use the question mark, mean either it will match 0 character or a single character. Okay, let's go to the practical session now. The wildcard path, right, I'm going to refer sample superstore. I just copy the file name. Here I'm referring the sample superstore, but I'm using star at the end. Sample superstore star dot csv. What it will do, it will read sample superstore 1 and sample superstore 10, because star means what, either it matches 0 character or more characters. Okay, In our case, sample superstore star has to read 3 files. Okay, let me execute this pipeline. We know there are 4 records in the sample superstore, 6 record in sample superstore 1. In sample superstore 10 we have 1 record, so again it has to load 11 records. Let's see it loaded 11 record. Now I'm going to the database, checking how many records are loaded. 11 record it got loaded. Let me truncate the table. And now other option, we will use the question mark. Question mark mean either it will match 0 character or single character. Same file name I'm referring here, instead of the star I'm using the question mark. What it will do, what it will do read sample superstore 1, because 1 replaced by question mark. It will not read sample superstore 10, because after sample superstore there are 2 characters. Question mark mean it will replace only 1 character, right? So it will not read sample superstore 10. It will read only sample superstore and sample superstore 1. So when we execute this pipeline, it should load only 10 record, not the 11 record, because 11th record there in sample superstore 10. Pipeline started executing. See, it ingested only 10 record. It is because it is ignored sample superstore 10, because we use the question mark there. Okay, let me go to database. I'll check how many records are there. It has only 10 record. Now we understand how to use the wildcard characters while referring the source file. Let's move on to other option. We have other option called list of files. What it will do, we will create a list of list how many files we wanted to read. That list alone it will read. Here the last choice option is list of files. Here, right, I created already the list of files I wanted to read. This is the file list.txt. Within that I am referring sample superstore.csv and superstore.csv. Only these 2 files. Rest of the files I am ignoring here. In the copy activity, I am referring these 2 files which is there in the list. I am referring this list. When I refer the list, how many file names are there, those file it will read. I am triggering this copy activity pipeline. It will read sample superstore 4 record, and how many records are there in the superstore? Only 1 record. So now it will ingest only 5 records. See, it ingested only 5 records. Let me go to database and verify how many records are there. It has only 5 records. So this is how you can give different ways while referring the source file path in Blob as a source. With this, let us conclude this session. We will meet in other session. Thank you.